Welcome to this Angular Smart TextArea tutorial. With the Syncfusion Angular Smart TextArea, you can easily manage multi-line text input and give users real-time sentence autocomplete to enhance their efficiency by suggesting entire sentences based on what they type. In this video, you will see how to create an Angular app, configure an AI service, and add the Syncfusion Angular Smart TextArea component to the app along with a few of its basic features. Let me start with the application creation process. I'm going to create an Angular application by making use of the Angular CLI tool. Make sure you have installed the latest version of Node.js. I will use Visual Studio Code as my editor and show the output in the Chrome browser. Additionally, you need an AI service that offers an API for communication such as OpenAI, Microsoft Azure AI, or Google Cloud AI. To create a project in Angular, I open Visual Studio Code and install the Angular CLI using the command npm install -g at angular/CLI. I use the ng new project name command and name my project my Angular app. I am going to create a project with a CSS style sheet, so I choose the CSS option. The project creation has started. Now let me navigate to the project folder. To use the Smart TextArea component, I type the command npm install at syncfusion/ej2 angular inputs --save to install the inputs package with its dependencies. The application is now ready to use. The first thing I must do here is register the trial license key to use Syncfusion components. So I open the main TS file and import the register license method from the Syncfusion ej2 base package. Using this method, I register the trial license key. For instructions on generating this license key, refer to the link in the description below. Now, the application is configured to use Syncfusion Angular components. Before proceeding further, let's set up the AI service. Here, I am going to use Google Generative AI, so the required AI packages are already installed in my machine. In the app folder, create a file named AI-model.ts and add the necessary code to configure the AI service. You can integrate any text generative AI of your choice. For Google Generative AI, provide the base URL, API key, and model name in the corresponding placeholders. For Azure OpenAI, you would provide the resource name, API key, and model name similarly. This method is used to interact with AI service to generate text based on specific parameters. Next, I navigate to the app component TS file and import the Smart TextArea module from the Syncfusion Angular inputs package. Then register it within the imports array of the component section. To add CSS reference for the Angular Smart TextArea component, I import the necessary CSS references in the styles CSS file. Now I will add the Angular Smart TextArea component to the application. I open the app component HTML file and remove its default content first. Then I add a division element with a class container to align the element. Within it, I add an EJS Smart TextArea tag with the placeholder value. Enter your queries here. In the style CSS file, I add the container class with styles like text align and margin. Now run the application using the command ng-serve. You can see the text area with the placeholder value. See here, when I type more lines, it is not visible. To increase the number of visible lines, use the rows and calls properties. To do that, I set the rows property to 6 and calls to 60. You can see the text area's visible height and width are increased as specified. Next, let's add the user role property to the Smart TextArea, which enables you to provide content and suggestions that are relevant to different user roles. Set the user role property with the appropriate text value. This text specifies who is typing and the reason for typing. Along with that, add the user phrases property, which is a collection of phrases commonly used by the user that enhances suggestions. To do that, I define a string array named default preset with a set of phrases relevant to the user role. I then assign this variable to the user phrases property of the Smart TextArea. Now let's add an AI suggestion handler to the Smart TextArea. I'll define an asynchronous function called serverAIRequest, which retrieves text from the server to display smart suggestions. This function accepts a parameter called settings of type chat parameters, which contains configurations for the AI request such as messages, temperature, and max tokens. I import chat parameters from the Syncfusion Angular inputs package. The function will use getAzureChatAIRequest to generate text based on these settings. To use this method, I import it from the AI model file. Then I assign this method to the AI suggestion handler in the app components HTML file. You can see when I start typing in the text area, it provides smart suggestions relevant to the user role. Next, let's include the Syncfusion Angular drop-down list to show smart suggestions with different user roles. I have added code to include the drop-down list with different user roles as its data source. To learn more about getting started with the Syncfusion Angular drop-down list component, refer to the video linked in the description. See here, the drop-down list is rendered at the top of the TextArea component. However, when I change the user role, the suggestions are not relevant to the selected role. I want to write code to handle this scenario. Let's proceed to do it. I define a change event with the event handler drop-down change to detect the changes in the drop-down element. I open the app component TS file and define the drop-down change method. Here, I will add code to change the user role and user phrases of the Smart TextArea based on the drop-down change. Before proceeding, I define the variable presets with a collection of user roles and user phrases to change when the drop-down value is changed. Inside this method, get the value of the selected item as selected role. Find the corresponding preset value and assign it to selected preset. Now I need to assign these selected roles and phrases to the user role and phrases properties of the Smart TextArea. So I need to get the instance of the Smart TextArea. First, add the ID to the Smart TextArea tag. Second, declare a not null variable called TextArea object of type Smart TextArea component by using the viewChild directive. To use these, I import them from their respective packages. Then, inside the drop-down change method, I assign the selected role and user phrases to their corresponding properties in the Smart TextArea. When I select Customer Support Representative responding to customer queries and start typing in the text area, it shows suggestions relevant to that role. Similarly, selecting Sales Representative responding to client inquiries provides suggestions relevant to that role. Let's summarize this video. I have shown you how to create an Angular app, add the Syncfusion Angular Smart TextArea component to it, and use a few of the component's basic features. If you want to try out the example used in this video, download it from the GitHub link in this video's description. I have also shared a link in the description to learn about obtaining a free license key to use our Angular components through our community license if you are eligible. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please like and subscribe to our channel.